Today's story for your daily comprehension is Alaska, a Special Place. It says that the genre is an expository text. Expository means that it is explaining something to you, which means it's giving you facts, real facts, and giving you real images. So, an expository text is just another example of nonfiction. So, this story is nonfiction. While we're reading through the story, I want you to find your signal words. So when we're talking about comparing things, we would say alike, the same, both, words like that. And when we're thinking about contrasting how they're different, we would say unlike, however, but, different, all of those kinds of words. So when we're reading through, I want you to think about those signal words because those signal words are going to tell you, hey, I'm about to tell you how something's the same, or hey, I'm about to tell you how something is different. So this week we're focusing on nonfiction stories, and we're going to read through how things are the same and how things are different. So go ahead if you want to challenge yourself, mute the volume while you read. Alaska, a special place. Where can you find mountains, glaciers, and volcanoes? Alaska is the location you would visit. Alaska has different regions. In each part of the state, there are different features. Land features. The tallest mountain in the United States is in Alaska. It is called Mount McKinley. Some people go to Alaska just to climb it. Alaska also has the biggest glaciers in all of the United States. Glaciers are made when one layer of snow falls on top of another. The snowfall becomes very thick. It turns to ice. The growth of a glacier takes many years to form. Here's a map of Alaska, and you can see it says Alaska, and here's a key. So when I see the star, that's telling me that's the capital of Alaska right here, which is Juneau. When I see this little thing, that's telling me there are rivers here and here. When I see the little mountains here, that's telling me that there are mountains on this part of Alaska. And anytime you see this, it's saying that there are volcanoes in this area. Temperature changes. Alaska has different temperatures. Northern Alaska is called the Arctic region. The temperatures are much colder than inside your freezer. The ground, lakes, and rivers are almost always frozen. As a result, most people live in the south of Alaska. It is warmer there. Crops grow well in the rich soil there. So that's comparing Northern Alaska to Southern Alaska. You'll need this for one of your questions. Animals. Alaska has many different animals. You may spot a walrus or polar bear among the glaciers. You can also see a black or brown bear fishing in a river or stream. In another region, you can see a moose or caribou. Walruses live in shallow waters off the coast of Alaska. Remember, this is a caption. All right, last subheading, daylight and darkness. The seasons are special here too. In summer, people celebrate the mild, temperate weather. These lively people also celebrate the sunlight because the sun does not set for many days. In one village, the sun doesn't set for more than 80 days. You might be in bed and still see the sun shining. In winter, the sun doesn't rise in some places in Alaska. These places have more than 60 days of winter darkness. You could have afternoon soccer practice in the dark. You might think this would be eerie, but Alaskans don't think this is weird. They are used to the dark winter days. Alaska is a very interesting place to live. Excuse me, sorry. So when you're reading through the story, you need to think, how were things the same? How were things different? In this area, we're talking about the different seasons in daylight and darkness in this subheading. And how they're different and how they're the same. In this subheading, we're talking about animals and all the different kinds of animals and where they live. And then in this area, we're talking about the temperature changes. So how there are different areas in Alaska that have different and the same temperatures. So make sure I would go through and read this story again or listen to the story again, and make sure when you are answering your questions that you are using complete sentences.